Hey everyone, this is Glenn Guyton once again in Germany. I'm in a different part of Germany now, in a more German looking part of Germany, I think. And by German looking, I mean the architecture is more traditional. I actually spoke to one of the locals here, well, actually, someone that grew up in Frankfurt, and he was telling me why the architecture is different in Frankfurt. It's really because of after the war, a lot of the infrastructure was destroyed, and so Frankfurt was one of the first cities to rebuild. Or they one of the faster rebuilding cities, so they have more modern architecture. So you never really know the backstory. The backstories are so important as you think about understanding people, understanding your environment, your world. You know, why are things the way they are? Well, there's probably a perfectly good reason, and sometimes we just take things at face value, and we don't understand the history behind them. So it was good that I was with a German native who was able to tell me a little bit about the history of the area. And of course, I knew about the war, but you don't think about the long-term impact of something like that, right? So you have parts of Germany that weren't major cities, that weren't bombed, and so the architecture is still traditional. It lasted, right? It's here. It's been here for hundreds of years, but then you have a city that was basically destroyed by the war, so they've had to rebuild, and they have more modern architecture. So just things to think about as you go through life and engaging with people and engaging places, and take some time to learn about the history. I think that's what I'm finding out. You want to learn a little bit about the history of a place, ask some questions, talk to people that have been around and find out what's going on. I think most of us, and I'm guilty of this too, is just kind of walking through life with blinders on and not really taking the time to reflect on the depth of a situation, or getting the backstory right. We just kind of take things at face value. You know, I think social media drives some of these things, where we just kind of see things from a surface level, and we don't have the depth of knowledge that's important for us to understand one another, for us to work well together with one another, and to understand why decisions were made. I will tell you something, now this is totally different, something about Germany that's really interesting to me, and maybe I should find out the history of sparkling water in Germany. Sparkling water is a big thing here for some reason, and they have different degrees of bubbles. Why don't we have this in the U.S.? I'm so disappointed in us. You can get the regular bottled water, and I talked a little bit with some of my friends about water, right? Here in the U.S., we have this obsession with water, right? We carry water bottles around everywhere. Here in Germany, it's, people get small glasses of water. You don't really get water in restaurants. You have to ask for it, and normally it's going to be bottled water. You have to pay for it, and the glasses are tiny. But anyway, they have so many different degrees of bottled water here. You can get the regular water, then you can get the like the high fizz water, like with a lot of bubbles, and then you can get the medium fizz or the low fizz bottled water. I didn't know that they had different degrees of fizz for sparkling water. Of course, I make my own sparkling water at home because I'm bougie. I have a soda stream, and so I like a lot of bubbles in my water. But here in Germany, at least, I found out, maybe there's other places in Europe. Let me know if you are from other places where you can order your degree of bubbles, low, medium, or high. First time experiencing that. This is one of the things that I love about travel, is just experiencing different cultural phenomenons. Hey, the other thing about Germany that is, now this aggravates me. I think Germany, you win on bottled water. Where do you lose? Where do the Germans not have it? Is with the top sheet. What's up with the top sheets here in Germany? They don't have top sheets on the bed. They just give you a bottom sheet, like the fitted sheet, and then you get like a comforter with the duvet. So I'm missing my sheet. I like to get in between the sheets. and you can't do that here in Germany. But they do have a duvet cover, which is kind of nice. So I guess you just wash that duvet cover and go about your life. But I was a little hot in my room last night because I could normally just throw off the duvet, but you couldn't do that because there's no top sheet, and so you don't get to sandwich in between the sheets. I like my sheets tight. My first hotel, before I looked this up, because I was trying to figure out if I just didn't know what was going on. But so what I did was I decided to Google this to figure out what was going on. But when I got to my first hotel, I pulled that, the sheet that is normally the top sheet. I pulled it back, and there was another fitted sheet underneath it. But apparently the Germans don't sleep on that. At least that's what I read, and that top sheets are a very American thing. So do you still use a top sheet? Let me know your sheet theory, because I just couldn't get comfortable last night, and the duvet is a little bit too hot for me. I just wanted a thin sheet. I wanted to be sandwiched in between the sheets. That's kind of my disappointment here in Germany. Otherwise, hey, it's been great. A lot of bread, too much bread, a lot of sausage here in Germany. Great sandwiches, though. The sandwich game in Germany is so strong. Like I'm envious of the sandwiches. It's all kind of sandwiches here. They're all pretty too. Like, why are there so many pretty sandwiches in Germany? Like, who decided, hey, our sandwich is gonna be lovely? Because the bread is pretty, right? The bread is pretty. They have a ton of bread, pretzels, all kinds of pizzas. So really, really pretty bread and really pretty sandwiches. Like, the sandwiches are all like artworks, like works of art. That's what I should say. They're works of art. So I'm really impressed, Germany, with the water, the sandwiches, but disappointed in this bed. I need to be sandwiched in between my sheets, and the duvet is in this accessory. It's not like you're supposed to be sleeping on it. And then the duvet was just like thrown in the middle of the bed. It was just kind of like folded up in the middle of the bed. It wasn't even like spread out. That's the only thing. I think we're winning in the bed game. We're losing in the duvet. I mean, we're winning in the bed game, but we're losing in the sandwich game and a bottled water game. All right, thank you all. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day.